Good morning, happy traveler. Today I am so excited, and so is my stomach, because we're taking a food tour in Little Havana. Saw the list of food that's on this tour, and let me tell you, it all sounds delicious, and this neighborhood looks super cute, so I'm excited to explore here as well.
We've just met up with our tour group right in front of the Tower Theater here in Little Havana. This tour is put on by Miami Culinary Tours. It is the Havana Food and Culture Tour. Apparently we're gonna hit like 7 different spots, try all the best Cuban food.
This is our first time in Little Havana, and so far it looks very colorful and lively. I feel like I want to come back here later for dinner, and I haven't even tried any of the food yet, so that's saying something. I love this place already. I'm so excited. For our first stop on the tour, we haven't even gotten any food yet, but I can tell you guys, this is right up my alley, and I'm so happy to be here. This is a really good choice. Just the vibe is awesome, and yeah, it's awesome. I'm so excited. They're gonna give us mojitos at this stop, so that's even better. I think I'll be more excited after that.
They just brought us some mojitos and Cuban sandwich. If you don't know the Cuban sandwich, it comes with ham, pork, Swiss cheese, pickles, and mustard. It looks like this has some like crispy somethings on top. Oh, it looks amazing.
We're heading to our next spot where we're gonna get some Cuban coffee, I believe. Mojito, and then we got the coffee. Stop number 2 for coffee.
This is the Picadillo empanada, and I'll tell you guys all about it in just a second. They add in white wine, tomatoes, bay leaves, cumin, green olives, raisins, and a little bit of potato. So it's this huge mix of goodness. This is my favorite Cuban meat, guys.
All right, let's try this Picadillo. There's some olives in there too, I think.
Olives?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This stop is called El Cristo, and we got an empanada with picadillo and a Cuban coffee. And this is actually how big a Cuban coffee is. It's like a creamer size, because it's extremely strong. It's the same amount of caffeine as a normal, like, size American coffee. This is very sweet. It's called a colada shot. Put a ton of sugar in here. We're about to leave, so I'm just about to shoot it. Found the coolest McDonald's I've ever seen in my life, Little Havana.
Can't keep up.
We are weighed down by empanadas and cubanos. Pardon my sweatiness, but this is Florida, so you know, it's humid. I'm gonna embrace it. We're continuing our walking/food tour of Little Havana. You always hear about Wynwood having all the street art, but actually Little Havana has a ton of awesome murals. So if you're looking for murals, Little Havana's the place to go, but we're about to miss our next food, so let's go. This place is called Party Cake Bakery, and here we're getting guava pastelitos and ham croquetas. So guava is a huge pastry flavor here in Miami. The ham croquetas is like a fried, savory little handheld tapas kind of, and they look really good. Yum! So this one's sweet and this one's savory. I kind of want the sweet one, if I'm being honest. It's very sticky. But it's like a turnover. It's got like a guava paste, very sweet, and it's sticky on the outside. This is the ham croqueta. Looks like a mozzarella stick. Kind of squishy. Good. So we just went into a cigar shop. Of course, we're in Little Havana, we had to do that. We learned basically how the cigars are rolled. Now they're Cuban style cigars. You can't really get actual Cuban cigars in the United States just because of embargoes, but it's actual Cuban tobacco seed that's just grown elsewhere, and we saw the women who were rolling the cigars, which was really cool. The smell of tobacco was really overwhelming. I think I'll skip it this time, but it's cool to learn about. Next, we are getting some fresh pressed juice from an 85-year-old Cuban woman who's been doing this for a very long time at an authentic Cuban fruiteria. This is one of the original businesses opened in Little Havana in the 50s, and this lady is 85 years old and she's been doing it since then, so a very, very long time, and she pressed us some guava juice. Yum! I don't think I've ever had guava juice before.
For the last stop on the tour, we went to Churro Mania. Churros aren't traditionally a Cuban dessert, but it's just kind of a Latin culture. So they have this spot in Little Havana, and there's been signs of people with churros all over the place. They're a little different than churros I've had before. They're really skinny, but they still taste just as amazing.
Right next door to Churro Mania is this place called Rooster Alley. It's this little alley and lot that has a ton of rooster murals and art. So it's basically an homage to Little Havana as a whole. A lot of the small business owners are honored. A lot of the celebrities that are Cuban have their pictures up on here, and there's just lots of art and culture right in this little spot that you can come and visit. This is where we've wrapped up the tour in Rooster Alley. So the name of the tour company is Miami Culinary Tours. Our tour guide was Marco. He was excellent. 11 out of 10 recommend if you want to take this tour.
Dang, that's pretty good. 11 out of 10.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Highly recommended.
One thing I really liked about this tour was that in addition to all the food, they gave you a lot of different tastes of the Cuban culture that lives in Little Havana here. Went to Domino Park and learned about the whole culture of playing dominoes. Saw some people that are there every day, all day playing dominoes. We went to a traditional Cuban shop where they make shirts and hats and learned about that side of the culture. Learned a lot about the neighborhood. It was a really great overview of just Little Havana and the culture that exists here. The tour was $69 per person, so it was a little on the pricey side, but I was really happy because we learned a ton and we got a lot of food. Probably if we had bought all that food just ourselves, it would have been about $70 a person, and a lot easier to just take the tour and get the food than try to seek it out yourself. I'm sweaty, but not too sweaty, and I'm full and caffeinated and mojito-ized or whatever those are, and got a churro sugar high, so I'm pretty happy.
It was pretty early in the afternoon, so we decided to come to this area called Virginia Key. We read that this is a good place to see manatees. I didn't realize we were coming right after our tour, or else I would have changed into a bathing suit, because I think maybe you can rent like kayaks and stuff here. Kind of a nice nature park area just outside of downtown Miami. It's $8 to park. We're gonna explore a little bit and see what we can see. The guy at the station where they collected our parking fare told us to come down this way. Maybe we'd see some manatees and get lucky. I do not know what I've got myself into. I am not in a hiking outfit right now. This is a nice little beach area though. There's some people who have their boats docked off here. We tried to walk around this little inlet area, but this being Florida, we encountered some mud and we are not properly dressed for that. So we're gonna go back to the car and maybe drive to the other end of the lake, see what else we can see. But we're both pretty zapped from being in the heat and humidity for the last 4 hours or so. So we might not last very long out here. It's crazy, they have these paddleboard rentals here and you download an app. It's kind of like those scooter rentals. You download the app and it gives you a code and it unlocks the paddleboard and you can just take it.
Well, we didn't see any manatees, but we did see a couple other animals. There were some raccoons and iguanas. So that was kind of cool, and it was a nice little beach park to stop at. It looks like there's some pretty big storm clouds coming our way though, so I think we're just gonna head back to our hotel. So the weather isn't looking great for the rest of the night, and we're both pretty beat. We didn't get much sleep last night because the fire alarm went off at 4:30 in the morning at our hotel. With all the hotels we've stayed in, that has never happened before. And we had to evacuate. We went downstairs and there was a fire truck and firefighters inside, and yeah, it was pretty crazy. We eventually were able to get back to our room, but we definitely lost a bit of sleep with that. So we're just gonna call it an early night tonight. Be sure to subscribe though, because tomorrow we are checking out of this hotel and heading down to the Florida Keys. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. This is Kevin from The Awkward Tourist. Peace out.
Make it a really cool and colorful, we're about to get hit by a car. Really cool and
I think right now we're just gonna head back to our resort. No, it's not a resort. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I think my favorite part of this tour is going to be hearing Kevin try to pronounce all the things that we're going to eat. He doesn't have a drop of Spanish blood in him, so we're going to see how he does today, okay? Apologies in advance for both of us.